Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? We about to get in right now. We got to stop the other live real fast to get to this right quick because the prosecutor has arrested a case on the Keefe D trial. The trial was expected to go longer. It is going longer, but they arrest their case so they cannot call no more witnesses and nothing like that no more. And that's a problem. Straight up. That is a problem. What's up with y'all? How y'all feeling? All right, cool. Let's get it going, y'all. We're in the building. Let me get my people back in the building because I had to get up out of here. Let's get a testimony in the building right quick and see what they talk about. Get one of these police to start. Nah. The building's secret. We got a 14-minute one now.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
My name is Adam Stair, ADAMSTOEHR.
All right, thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Stair, how are you employed?
I am an electronic evidence specialist for the Clark County District Attorney's Office.
And how long have you been an electronic discovery specialist with the District Attorney's Office?
About 3.5 years now.
Okay, and what do your job duties entail?
We collect evidence from various databases, and we download it and upload it into our case file for the attorneys.
And do you also ensure that those pieces of evidence are distributed then to defense counsel?
Yes, we prepare them for discovery, and we send them out.
I'm going to ask you particularly about things I asked you to do with this case. Did I ask you to obtain YouTube videos of the defendant, Mr. Davis?
You did?
And did you do that?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that there were a number of videos?
Yes, that is fair to say.
And then did I next ask you to reduce those videos to just a small number of brief clips for the purposes of the presentation today?
You did.
Okay. And, Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Do you recognize what State's Proposed 165 is?
I do.
What is State's Proposed 165?
Is a CD of YouTube exhibits.
And does this CD contain the actual videos that you compilated and then clipped?
Yes, there should be 3 videos.
Okay. Your Honor, at this point, I'm going to move State's Exhibit 165 into evidence.
Any further objection, Mr. Stamps?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Over objection, they will be admitted.
At this time, we're going to publish State's Exhibit 165.
You may.
Before we get into this, again, these are very small snippets of much larger and longer videos.
Yes, very much longer interviews.
In order? Let's do the book first.
You and Orlando and everyone else meets up, but you guys don't have any guns.
Who said that?
Well, it was in the book. Until Von Zip came in the picture.
Yeah. All right, let's. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, but it is in the book.
Okay, yeah. Let them read about it.
Okay, and I guess Foxy Brown was with Zip.
Let them read about it.
Okay. Well, according to the book, which there's going to be a link in the video that you could actually order from.
That's right. Matter of fact, let me see my book.
You want to go ahead and show the book?
Yeah, let's show the book. Yeah, this is my book here. I would like you guys to buy it and get the real truth instead of from a cop or some fucking industry people, some bullshit. You getting it from the real motherfucker. So go get the book, you know, and you can get the real truth about this whole situation. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and read from the book, passage.
Okay.
On getting a gun for the Tupac hit. While we were waiting for the valet to bring out our cars, Zip seized the opportunity and called me over to his Benz. Zip was a big-time New York player, pimp, and hustler who used to come out to California and handle his business and kick it with us sometimes. As I walked up to the driver's side, I noticed the rapper Foxy Brown was in the car with Zip. So he instructed her to step out of the car and motioned for me to jump in. Zip had a hidden compartment, and he opened up, reached in, and pulled back a 40 Glock.
Like I say,
He turned to me and said, "It's time to get the money."
like I say, get your $20 and read about that part.
I'm going to play the second file.
You had cancer at one point?
Yeah.
You beat it.
I beat it, yeah.
Right? It was a colon cancer?
I told you I beat 3 of the baddest entities in the world. United States government, fucking cancer, and the streets.
And then one last time.
Let me tell you something, my brother. Tupac and them jumped on him. He was by himself. He didn't. My nephew never jumped on no fucking Tupac. Come on, man. Tupac was wrong with 2 left fucking shoes, nigga. I mean, don't you think he was wrong? Honestly.
I mean, yeah, I think he could have, reacted in a better way.
You listen, homie. You don't think that man is wrong?
He could have reacted in a better way, I guess. I mean,
I'm talking. Vlad is his fucking biggest fan. He admitted that man is wrong, man.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, he was wrong,
man.
man, but that was only done out of loyalty, man.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. He never jumped. My nephew didn't jump on him. He jumped on my nephew, a kid, man. My nephew was a fucking kid. Them was grown-ass men, dude. You know what I'm saying? He was a fucking kid, dude. That's why he had on that jersey. He's a fucking kid, dude. You know what I'm saying? They was wrong. My nephew never jumped on him. They jumped on my nephew. My nephew didn't throw a punch, man. Shit was wrong, dude. Jumped on the fucking kid, dude.
And then, as part of your duties working for the Clark County District Attorney's Office, did you also receive video from the courtroom proceedings in this case?
I did.
And did you receive that one view from a television network and another view that you synced up?
Yes, I did.
And how do you do that?
I used Adobe Premiere Pro. I took both videos, entered them into the same timeline, and then set them side by side and synced them up so that they played. It's the same video. It's the same video from different angles.
And I'm going to approach you State's proposed Exhibit 166. Did you actually put that compilation on a video? And then, I'm sorry, did you put that video on a CD?
I did.
And is this the CD that you put it on?
Yes, it is.
All right. Your Honor, this time State's going to move 166 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted.
This time State's going to publish 166.
We have everyone back here at 3:40. Please rise for the jury.
Well, I don't see.
At that time when Reggie Wright Jr. is sitting in front of the witness stand, that Mr. Davis is mouthing words at Reggie Wright Jr.
Yes.
As part of your duties with the Clark County District Attorney's Office, did you also have access to calls that Mr. Davis made since September of 2023?
I do. I did.
And did I ask you to review some of those calls?
You did.
And did I ask you to clip some portions of those calls for the purpose of a presentation here today?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit 164. Is this CD the CD that you prepared containing those clips of calls?
Yes, it is.
All right, at this time, State's going to move 164 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
So admitted.
This time, State's going to publish State's Exhibit 164. We'll go in chronological order. So can we play the 10, 12, 23?
Yeah, everything gonna play out for me, though. Everything gonna be good. They're just trying to use the words I said against me, but they can't do that shit. So,
Well, shit, they trying it.
well. I didn't break the thing that fucking Greg hated thing. Shit.
I just wish you would have never did, dog. You know, just let that. Oh, you would probably would have been in jail. No, I forgot. I just wish you would have never talked to that man. You know.
Yeah, you're right. I know. I should have just went on and did that little.
Stopped doing all them interviews and that. Just never did none of that shit. Just I should have done. Whatever happened. You know.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody, that shit all over. All you see on Instagram, that all that shit. I'm like, damn, this shit is viral.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Starr, you've listened to this calls maybe one or two or more times. Is that fair?
That's fair.
In terms of editing it, is it fair to say that while some of the audio is a little bit garbled, upon hearing it a number of times, you're able to discern some of the words that are being stated?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that Mr. Davis says they're trying to use my words against me?
Yes.
And that he says, I didn't break the thing, Greg Kading broke the thing?
Yes.
Okay. Now can we play the next call at 10:21:23?
Yeah, they ain't got shit, though. They trying to use my statements against me. You gonna lose, dude. I was paid to say that, stupid ass dude. Yeah.
Okay.
I was paid to say that, stupid motherfucker. You can't use my shit against me, you stupid.
And then what's this book they say you wrote?
Yeah, I did. After that dude did that, I didn't breach that contract. He did.
Okay.
Hey, money off carry top. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
Oh, bitch. He had my life fucked up. I clawed up under a rock for 6 years. And I just got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Let them know the motherfucking truth. Bitch, you ain't just got me, you motherfucker. You niggas around me got you for me. That Dirt Rock, all them son of a bitches. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. Even my boy Jerome down the street from you. Little Rizal, all them motherfuckers. I'm like, damn. You know, that shit. You know?
And similarly, have you listened to this call more than...
I was like, damn. Why you always like, damn? Man, this nigga be tripping.
Not one time.
I have.
And is it fair to say that Mr. Davis says they're trying to use my words against me?
Yes.
And in fairness to Mr. Davis, he does say, I was paid to say those words.
Yes.
And then he says, when he's asked about what's that book you wrote, he says, yeah, I wrote that book.
Yes.
And then later on he says I'm going to quote, let the motherfuckers know the truth.
Yes.
Okay. And then he later on says, regarding Greg Kading, you didn't get me, and then says some people who actually did get him.
Yes.
Okay. Can we play the 11-9-23?
Deadline. So I'm gonna call Edie. I'm gonna call him today, and then when you call me later on tonight or tomorrow, I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Love, my bro.
All right, I'm looking out for you, big dog. All right.
But once I get home, man, we rich.
Oh, of course. Of course.
All right, I got to tell Keefe D, you know what I'm saying? Don't throw that motherfucking shit up in your face. We be mad the motherfucking 10 years later. Next series still going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Make us want to, you know. I got to tell that nigga, I got blood on my money. All right, what's up, bro? Okay.
All right, big dog. All right. Talk to you later. Peace.
Similarly, had you listened to this call a number of times?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that Mr. Davis says, I have blood on my money?
Correct.
And then the last call from July 5th, 2024.
I was going way before that dude. I was way out there before him, dude. I know Easy and Dr. Ray and put them on, motherfuckers. Don't need this little faggot. You know what I'm saying? Pick up in fucking prison and get fucked in the ass. Fucking night, John. Police and all that raping little girls, jumping on little kids in the fucking hallway of the fucking casino. That dude's a piece of shit.
Appreciate the love.
Yo.
Yeah, bro, they making this shit way with it, like, yeah.
Straight.
Talking about your icon. Well, where?
Icon, my ass. I don't want none of my kids like that motherfucker. Faggot.
Okay, and similar to the previous 3 calls, have you listened to this call a number of times?
Yep.
And is it fair to say that well, he says a lot, but in particular, he says he's complaining about somebody jumping on little kid in the casino, in the hallway of the casino, that he's a piece of shit.
Yes.
Court's indulgence. State will pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Stamp, cross-examination.
No cross-time.
Ladies and gentlemen, any of the jury, any questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Starr. You're free to go. State who's your next witness.
Judge reserving the right to confirm with the clerk that
So that was the witness, right? The prosecutor rest their case today. Let's get some more Keefe D real fast. Prosecutor rest their case today, man. So I want to see what type of evidence they had to rest their case. Just Keefe D wrong. Keefe D wrong as fuck. And he might talk himself into a life sentence. You know, but I'm not going to put that on that man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get this right there. We're going to see what the Durk trial looks like.
This action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
I did.
You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Robert Ladd, Robert Ladd.
You may proceed, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Ladd.
How you doing, sir?
Sir, can you tell us a little bit about your employment?
Yes, I'm retired now, but I was a police officer for 32 years.
And where did you start your career?
I started in 1983 when I was hired by the city of Compton.
And what was your initial position with the city of Compton?
A patrol officer.
And then did you change positions at some point?
Yes, when I was a patrol officer for several years. And that really was my beginning introduction into the world of the Crips and Bloods, because most of the radio calls that we got in Compton revolved around gang activity. So I got to learn there, you know, the way they dressed, the territories, how to read graffiti. And then in 1988, I was promoted to the gang unit.
And for our edification, how big is Compton?
Compton's a 10 square mile city. It had a population of 100,000 people. And we had 55 active gangs in this little 10 square mile city.
And is it fair to say that most of the gangs were affiliated either with the Crips or Blood or Mob and various subsets of those types of groups?
Yes, it was basically Crips, Pyrus, and Hispanic gangs.
Okay.
Mr. Paul, you've reminded me that this may be a good time to read the Taurus instruction.
You're right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are going to hear testimony regarding drug trafficking, conspiracy, federal convictions, as well as gang affiliation. These are not offered to show the defendant's propensity to commit crime or any other improper purpose, and you may not consider it for those purposes. It is only offered to establish the credibility of his prior statement, the statements made by defendant, motive, and identity. You may proceed, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, and then tell us a little bit about your career in terms of, you said in 1983 you became a patrol officer and you were patrolling Compton, which had you responding to a lot of gang-related calls. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
And then you ultimately go to the gang unit, is that correct?
Yes.
And were you assigned a partner?
Yes, my partner was Tim Brennan.
And then who was the lieutenant in charge of the gang unit at that time?
Lieutenant Reggie Wright Sr.
During your time as a gang detective, did you also respond to a lot of gang activity in Compton?
Yes, when I got into the gang unit in 1988, Compton was a very violent city. We were averaging 70 to 80 homicides a year and hundreds of shootings. So my responsibilities now were to investigate all gang-related crimes, gather intelligence and photograph and identify gang members. And I also went out on a daily basis and tried to contact gang members and talk to them when I arrested them. And also I tried to talk to them out in the field so I could kind of build a rapport with these gang members out there.
Okay, so I mean, you'll have to forgive me, but when I think of a officer or detective rolling through Compton and trying to start up a conversation with a gang member, it seems weird to me that the gang member would want to interact with you at all. Like, how did you develop that rapport?
Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes several years. You just gotta treat them fair, and you have to talk to them like you'd want to be talked to. And we didn't sweat them on the small stuff. We let patrol kind of do that. For instance, if they were out there just drinking some beer or smoking some marijuana or whatever, we'd come up and we'd talk to them and say, man, we're not going to sweat you on that stuff. And so over time they say, all right, this guy's pretty cool, we'll talk to him.
And then your partner, Tim Brennan, he ultimately was given a nickname Blondie, is that right?
Yes, DJ Quick wrote an underground song about it, and it was called Blondie. So everybody in the Compton knew my partner as Blondie. He kind of became famous over it.
Can you tell me a little bit about any type of gang training that you've given as somebody who has dealt with Bloods and Crips in Compton specifically?
Yes, it was from 2001 to about 2010 that my partner Tim and I, we taught at many national seminars right here in Vegas and in California also. And this is where thousands of police officers come from all over the country as well as around the world to learn about the Crips and Bloods. And so we taught them about that.
You had mentioned that in a city as small as 100,000 people, you would have somewhere between 50 to 60 or more homicides a year and then additional hundreds of shootings. Can you tell us a little bit about that, about the volume of these types of cases? Were they mostly gang-related shootings and homicides?
Most of them were, yes. And in 1993, I was promoted to gang homicide detective and started handling all the gang homicides, too. And I did this till the year 2000. And so I spent 12 straight years in the gang unit. And during that time, I handled hundreds of homicide cases and thousands of shootings. And I actually talked to thousands of gang members, and I got to know really the way they talk, the way they think, the way they act, basically their overall mentality about gang life.
So he feel like he understand gang bangers the way they just talk to him. Stop it. That sounds dumb as hell.
Yeah, no.
I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the difficulties associated with investigating gang cases. As somebody who did hundreds of investigations and homicides and thousands of shootings, did gang cases in particular present investigatory problems?
Absolutely. Gang cases, they're the hardest to solve, especially in Compton, because there's a code out in the street where you're not supposed to talk to the police, you're not supposed to go to court, or you get labeled a snitch. And the other problems that we have is that the good citizens that actually see what happened and want to come forward, they're afraid to. They get intimidated by these gangsters. And so they're really hard. We really don't have any witnesses, so we kind of rely on a lot of informants to get our information out there in the streets.
And then you mentioned relying on informants, but is it fair to say that if somebody wants to, if a case needs to be prosecuted or brought to court, somebody can't remain a confidential, reliable informant? They actually have to reveal who they are.
That's true.
And as part of your investigating homicides and shootings, was that a problem to get people to come forward and testify as opposed to giving you information on background?
Yes, it's very difficult because when they come to court, if you can get them to come to court, they don't want to get involved. They don't want to say anything, so they're not cooperating. So.
And you said being labeled a snitch was something that was frowned upon. in your training and experience, were there any other types of consequences for people who are labeled snitches in Compton, California?
Man, snitches get stitched. You trying to say that? Nigga, why? Keefe D ain't got no stitches. Let me stop. What he trying to, what is, see, listen, I fought cases before, right? So I be, this shit can go any way all the time. But a lot of times when a jury is this adamant and all that, they want to see what the fuck this person talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see it. But who am I?
Absolutely. These guys take the code very seriously, and if you get labeled a snitch, it's probably the worst thing that can happen to you as a gang member. You're probably going to have to leave the state if you want to get, if you don't want to get severely beaten down all the way up to getting murdered. So they take it very seriously.
Now, I'm going to ask you now about a gang in particular. I'm going to ask you about, I'm going to ask you about the Southside Compton Crips. During your time in Compton, California, were you familiar with the Southside Compton Crips?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell us a little bit about the Southside Compton Crips?
Yes, the Southside Crips, they're located in the southeast portion of our city, and their area, they're one of our larger gangs. It's probably a half mile in every direction. There was an excess of 100 documented active gang members at the time, and they identified themselves by wearing the color blue. So when you contacted a Southside Crip member, he's going to have something blue on, a blue shoe.
That's it, blue? All Crips supposed to have a little blue on. So just because of South, it ain't a certain type of blue with that blue? You don't even know that. That is two colors. It's always two colors to a hood. The navy blue, the royal blue, that's always going to be, you know what I'm saying? A navy going to be always the back end. That's for the cripping. And then powder, gray, brown, green. It's different things with the blue. Yellow, that makes it that specific gang.
Strings, a blue rag, blue, anything blue identifies them with being a Crip gang member. And also the Southside Crip members adopted the Seattle Mariners baseball cap. It's a blue cap, it had an S on it, and to them the S stood for Southside Crips.
Now, I'm going to direct your attention to specifically the mid-90s, 1995, 1996. Were you familiar with somebody by the name of Dwayne Davis?
Yes.
Were you aware, was he somebody that was a high-ranking person in that gang or a low-ranking person in that gang?
Well, as high as you can get, yeah.
As high as you can get is crazy as work. As high as you can get. Then why you got no federal indictment?
What are the different levels of gangsters in Southside, or just general gangs? Are there different levels?
Yes, there's definitely a hierarchy within the black gangs in Compton. There's really 3 phases that these guys go through. The first phase is the BG, or baby gangster phase. And this is the time when they're just joining a gang, and usually, most of the time, not all the time, they get jumped in. And by getting jumped in, you have to show how tough you are. So it probably lasts about a minute, maybe 2 minutes, where 5, 6, 7 gang members are going to try to beat this guy up, and he's got to fight with them to show how tough he is. And if he passes, he gets to join the gang. And these are the ages between 12, 13 to 15 and 16. And this is the beginning stages, so they're out there doing low-level crime, such as graffiti, selling drugs for the older gang members, and being lookouts.
And then is there a level above that?
Yeah, the next level we call the gangster phase, and that's from the ages from 15 to 16 to about 25 or 26. Now this is a stage where these guys do the most violence. They're the ones out there that are committing the drive-by shootings and murders and robberies and carjacking. what they're trying to do is they're trying to earn their stripes for the gang so they can get kind of respect within the gang. So this is the most violent time for these gangsters.
And then is there another level in the hierarchy?
Yes, the last level is ages 25 to 26 on up. And these are the guys that, a lot of them went to prison during their gangster phase, and a lot of them are getting older now, and they put in the work. They call it earning their stripes within the gang. They're getting their respect. Now they're the older gangsters. And these guys become the leaders or shot callers of the gang. And they tell the younger officers what to do. And again, they take this very seriously. If the old OGs tell younger gangsters what to do, they do it without hesitation. If they don't, there's going to be severe consequences. I've seen all the way from severe beatdowns all the way up to murder.
Right. Now, in that hierarchy, so we have baby gangsters, just, what was the middle one called? Just gangsters?
Just
Gangsters, and then like OGs. Did you happen to know in the mid-90s where Dwayne Davis stood in that hierarchy?
Yes, he was a shot caller.
Your Honor, may we approach?
You may.
All right, so you're saying that Mr. Davis was a shot caller within the Southside Compton Crips.
Absolutely, yes.
And what does that mean?
Well, he could tell the younger gangsters what to do, and if they don't listen, like I just said, there's going to be severe consequences. The younger gang members are supposed to do what they're told without hesitation.
Now, were you aware of whether or not Mr. Davis was a narcotics trafficker?
Yes, he was definitely a high-level narcotics dealer. Compton, we were a small city, and we didn't have the manpower or the resources to go after a major narcotics dealer like Mr. Davis. But during my time in the gang unit, we were approached by two different agencies, the FBI task force, really, the DEA and FBI task force, and they would come to us because they wanted information on Mr. Davis's fellow gang members who he hung around with. And basically they would tell us that he's trafficking narcotics across the United States all the way to the East Coast.
Now, I want to talk a little bit more about Mr. Davis. Would you see him sometimes in Compton?
Yes, many, many times I've seen Mr. Davis.
And can you, do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, I.
Can you please point him out and identify an article of clothing he's wearing?
Yeah, he's a male black sitting at the end of the table wearing it's either gray or black suit.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the identification of the defendant in this case?
It will.
All right, and how would Mr. Davis dress in normal, like, gangster attire, like you were talking about before, or would he dress differently?
No, in his later years after he became the leader, whenever I'd see him, he'd be nicely dressed. Have the brim hat on, and he wouldn't have anything gangster-like on. He was always well-dressed.
I'm going to ask you now about somebody by the name of Orlando Anderson. Were you familiar with Mr. Anderson?
Yes, I was very familiar with Mr. Anderson. I had many, many contacts with him.
Okay, and can you tell us how you first became aware of Mr. Anderson's involvement in gang activity, if such activity existed?
Yes, I guess you could say I was there for his initiation into the gang. My partner Tim Brennan and I, we were at a fast food restaurant getting something to eat, and we're in the drive-thru. And this particular restaurant was right adjacent to the Southside Crip territory. And there's an alley that runs just adjacent to it. So as we got our food, and we were driving out of the fast food restaurant, and all of a sudden we heard a barrage of shots. We can hear them hitting our car. then I heard about 5 or 6 shots, right? So after the shots stopped, we looked at each other, jumped out of the car, made sure we were all right, and we ran to where the shots were coming from. And witnesses were pointing down the street, and I saw 3 male blacks running down towards a known gang hangout. So these guys ran in there. We called the troops. We subsequently arrested Orlando Anderson and 2 other people, and during their interviews they said that was part of their initiation. They didn't have to be jumped in if they tried to kill me and my partner. So they were automatically in the gang, and Orlando Anderson wasn't the shooter during this incident.
Was not.
Was not.
Okay. Now, were you familiar? Well, did Orlando Anderson, to your knowledge, have any relation to Dwayne Davis?
Yes, we found out that it was Orlando Anderson was Keefe's nephew. I'm sorry.
That's fine. And Keefe is what Mr. Davis went by?
Yeah, Keefe D.
Yeah, Keefe D. Is that kind of how you're used to referring to Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I kind of know them by their nicknames, really.
Okay. And then, were you also familiar with somebody by the name of Terrence Bubble Up Brown?
Yes. Had many contacts with Mr. Brown. He was kind of an older gangster, call him a wobbler. I still considered him in the gangster phase, but he kind of was a little older too.
And I guess
he was an older gangster. It's crazy, cuz. Older gangster is fucking nuts. What's an older gangster? He was an older gangster. I got the younger gangsters, the older gangsters. I think it says 3 phases. The baby gangster, you start off at baby gangster. You start off at baby gangster is crazy, brother. Start off at baby gangster, bro. Nigga, I ain't never been a baby gangster, cuz. Ever. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I ain't never been a baby gangster, brother. That's a fact. Oh, my bad. I've got the G, y'all. That's a fact. Never been a baby gangster. But we all different. They baby gangsters. But then Keefe D go on certain podcasts and explain that it's like 6 or 7 different levels to that shit. So why is he coming on this motherfucker? He's saying there's only 3. Do he know what he's talking about? Or is he a baby gangster? You know? These questions you must ask. So let me take this right quick because moving fast. All right.
In the mid-'90s, what phase or what level would you say Orlando Anderson was?
Definitely gangster phase.
And then, did he go by any nicknames that you're aware of, Orlando Anderson?
Yes, Baby Lane.
And then, were you familiar with somebody by the name of DeAndre Smith?
Yes, DeAndre Smith, many contacts with him. Again, admitted to me, he's a Southside Crip member. His nickname was Big Dre.
Why was he called Big Dre?
Because he was a big man, and he was like 6'4", probably 300 pounds. He was a big guy.
Were you also familiar with a gang called Mob Piru?
Yes.
Can you tell us about Mob Piru?
Yes, they're a gang in the city.
A lot of Compton gangs got TGs, OTGs, BGs, OBGs, and then it's OG type shit, right? A lot of gangs like that. They got like 8 different lines. You know what I'm saying? Some gangs got where everybody just one thing, just they all Tiny Toons. You know what I'm saying? Are we Tiny Toons? And every generation is Tiny Toons until somebody changed it to some other shit, right? So, yeah.
Of Compton, and they're located in the northeast portion of our city. Their gang used to be called the Looters Park Piru. That was their territory. In about 1975 or 76, a group of kids over there wanted to start their own gang and have their own territory, so they started at Mob Piru, which stands for Members of Bloods. Now their area is probably a quarter mile in each direction, and there's probably 45 to 50 active gang members in this gang. Also, and they identify themselves by wearing the color red. So, and just like the Crips wore anything blue, the Pirus or Bloods wear everything red.
Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the flare-up between Mob Piru and Southside Crips, but even before any of the music or any of the particular 1990s issues that we're here to discuss, would it be fair to say that Mob Piru and Southside Crips were natural rivals?
Yes, the Bloods and Crips never got along since they originated way back in the early 70s. They're kind of like just natural enemies because one wears red and one wears blue.
Were you familiar with whether or not Mob Piru associated with any particular record label in the mid-90s?
Yes, Death Row Records.
And were you, do you know who ran Death Row Records at the time?
Yes, Suge Knight.
And were you familiar with Suge Knight prior to his ascension in Death Row Records?
Yeah, we had contact with him before, but not many, because he really wasn't a gang member. He didn't really hang out, but he grew up in that neighborhood.
I'm going to ask you about some of the people that you would associate with the Mob Piru. Earlier, I think now it's last week, we met with somebody named James McDonald. Are you familiar with James McDonald?
Yes, very.
Do you recall what his nickname was?
Yes, Mob James.
Now, would you go to the McDonald house in Mob Piru territory?
Yes. Mob James's house was kind of like the main hangout for the Mob Piru, Looters Park Piru. He had two younger brothers, Buntry and Timmy Rue. So this was the main hangout for the Mob Pirus, and we would go there. If you wanted to find a Mob Piru, that's the first place you'd look. So we had many run-ins at this Mob James house.
And were you familiar with somebody by the name of Trayvon Lane?
Yes.
And actually published States Exhibit 60. Do you recognize the person depicted in States Exhibit 60?
Yes, that's Trayvon Lane. His nickname's Trey, and he's a member of the Mob Piru.
Are you familiar with somebody by the name of Roger Williams?
Yes, I am. His nickname is Neckbone, and he's also a member of the Mob Piru.
No, actually, I think I skipped something with Trayvon Lane. You had talked about the 3 levels of being a gangster. What level would you say Trayvon Lane was in the mid-90s?
Gangster.
Okay, so like the middle, most violent level.
Yes.
And then with in the mid-90s, what level was Roger Williams?
Definitely gangster.
In the mid-90s, what level was Mob James McDonald?
I would consider him an OG.
And then in, you'd mentioned Buntry. Is that Alton McDonald?
Yes, it is.
The mid-90s, Mob James was the OG. In the mid-90s, oh my goodness.
And in the mid-90s, what level would you describe him?
Gangster.
Okay. And then are you, now in that neighborhood, same neighborhood, there was a person that lived there or grew up there named Reggie Wright Jr. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Were you familiar with Reggie Wright Jr.?
Very, yes.
And when you say very, how are you familiar with Reggie Wright Jr.?
Oh, he used to work at the Compton Police Department. He was a jailer, and then he went to be a full-time police officer, I think, in around 1988. He was only there for like 5 years because he got injured and had to retire.
Shout out to the Darko, my nigga Darko. Shout out to Darko and them, bro. The dark side, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the Samoan and all that other side. Got others over there, Panamanian, Samoans, and all that. Park Village, on crib.
Now, I'm going to ask you something, I guess, culturally about gang life. How important is one's reputation in the gang world?
Very. It's these guys live for respect. that's how they live their lives.
And then, if somebody felt as though they were disrespected, what would you expect them to do?
They have to retaliate. If a gang member is disrespected, they have to retaliate, or they're considered a punk out in the streets. And if you get considered a punk out in the streets, you kind of lose your...
Darko, cuz, and my nigga Baby. You know what I'm saying? My nigga Baby Darko. On Crip. My nigga Baby, man.
Thousands of shootings you've investigated. Was retaliation, in your experience, ever a motive for those shootings or murders?
Yes. I've investigated like 1,000 crimes, and I would say 90% of them are because of disrespect. And so when you get disrespected as a gang member, you can expect some sort of retaliation.
Now, you had heard gathering intelligence about this Lakewood Mall incident. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
But you weren't there, were you?
No.
And just so we're all clear, Lakewood Mall, is that in Compton?
No, it's several miles out of Compton.
And so that wouldn't be something for you to investigate?
No.
But as a gang expert and a gang investigator, what to you is the significance of somebody trying to rip off a gang member's chain?
Well, it's definitely disrespect, especially the chain that they were trying to take at the Lakewood Mall. It was a highly prized medallion, and these guys wore it like a badge of honor. So them try to steal this chain and beat up this subject, it would be a major display of disrespect. So now this guy's got to go back to the Mob Piru and Death Row Records and tell them what happened. So the next time they see each other, it's going to be on site. As soon as they see each other, some confrontation is going to happen.
And you had said that we're talking about the chain. We're talking about that Death Row chain. Is that right?
Yes.
And you had mentioned that they were wearing it with great pride. By they, who are you talking about?
The entourage of Suge Knight. That's Trayvon Lane. Well, back in '95, Suge Knight gave these out as Christmas presents to his...
Being her to write this book.
Yes.
Now, in addition to that, throughout the course of the book, you do put pictures in here, and pictures of you with darker hair and less of a goatee and more of a, looks like just actually one without a picture of no facial expression whatsoever. It's a picture of you as a young police officer. Now, the purpose for these pictures in your book is really to help establish some of the things that were happening during that time period, so the reader could see visually what was going on, right?
Correct.
Now, in addition to that, in the book, you had put as well, and the book, the picture, the picture that I was looking at is this picture right here. You recall this picture?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and once again, it's just to show your experience while you were being a police officer in Compton, right?
Yes.
Now, in addition to that, though, you do put in the back of your book some documents that were documents that you used in furtherance of your job as a detective at some point, right?
I don't really understand that question.
Meaning, for instance, in the back of your book, you do put in here a map of the Compton area gangs, for instance.
Yes.
You also put in here, and the Compton area gangs for the jury, we're talking...
Jury trial is not streamed. It's in federal court. No federal court has been streamed ever.
Just to highlight how compact of an area the city of Compton was and how many different areas was claimed by different types of gangs. Fair?
Fair.
Okay. In addition to that, you also have included in here the affidavit, the search warrant that we just talked about before, right? This 40 area search warrant.
Yes.
You put that in the book as well.
Yes.
And just for the jury's edification here, for instance, none of the information in here is redacted, meaning it's not taken out by a black mark or anything like that, right?
Correct.
All right. And I'm not trying to get anybody in position here to be in trouble, but in essence, the book and the information that's in here was readily available for anyone who wanted to buy and read it.
Correct.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, did you have a publisher on this?
At the beginning, we did, yes.
Okay, and what do you mean at the beginning?
Well, it was a publishing company, and we kind of had a little conflict with them, so we decided to leave them and self-publish.
I see. And so with Lolita's help, once the book was finalized and you and Tim both felt good about the finished product with Lolita, then you just published it yourself?
Yes.
How does that work?
Well, you just go to Amazon Books, and it kind of just runs you through it. It's kind of a complex system that you have to do certain things. I mean, I didn't really do it, so I can't really tell you the exact steps because I'm not very good on the computer. I know how to turn them off and I know how to turn them on.
Well, let me ask you this in terms of what was happening with Amazon. Once you submitted it to Amazon, Amazon becomes a platform that sells the book.
Yes.
And so if someone's interested in the book, they just look it up and they click and they buy the book.
Correct.
Now, at some point, though, as they're buying the book, you receive a record as to how many people have purchased the book, right?
Yes.
And how much money you and Tim and Lolita would potentially be making for the sale of each book.
Correct.
Now, in this case, for instance, with the sale of each book, I would imagine Amazon would have taken a pretty big chunk of the proceeds from the sale of each book.
Yes. You don't make much money.
Yeah. And so even though you're selling, and with regards to Once Upon a Time in Compton, can you tell us how many of these books that you sold?
No.
Okay. I'm assuming at some point you did receive a check.
Yeah.
Okay. But not something that you could retire on.
Oh, definitely not.
Okay. And in terms of your books, do you remember how much they cost, how much you were selling them for?
I thought it was $15.99, but I'm not positive on that.
Okay. Right. Now, one of the things that's in your book as well is you had, there was a part of the book where you had identified a MGM Grand ticket to the Tyson Seldon fight. Do you recall that particular image in your book?
I think it was, yeah, we covered that out of Suge Knight's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with regard to that, if I show you, let me just do this quick here. Your Honor, if I could approach and ask the clerk to mark this as proposed exhibit next in order.
Okay. What is the next order, Jess? D.
DD.
She'll put it on there. Is it B? B?
DD.
Okay, got it. It'll be a minute.
Thank you.
Oh, was there any objection? I apologize.
I just need to say it first.
Oh.
No objection.
So admitted.
Mayor Patron.
You may.
Do you recall this particular image in your book, so showing you what's been marked as BB?
Yeah, it looks like it, yes.
Okay, and that was a ticket stub, it looks like, to the Seldon Tyson fight
Yes.
On September 7th, 1996.
Yes.
And that ticket stub was located in Suge Knight's house.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Publishing for the jury here so they can see. Do you recall when Suge Knight's house was searched?
The day that I think it was October 2nd, well, the day we served all 38 search warrants.
I see. And so his house was one of the houses that you were searching to basically try to quell any potential violence in Compton as well as gather information.
Yes.
Now, with regard to this particular ticket, though, because it was captured, there was an understanding between all the police officers conducting all the searches at the same time that you were looking for information leading to the murder of Tupac that had occurred in September.
Yes.
So, with regard to this ticket, for instance, because it was the Seldon Tyson fight on the night of Tupac's murder, this ticket was obtained by you or kept in evidence as part of your investigation.
It wasn't part of our investigation, though. It was for Las Vegas PD.
Right, so let's get a little bit into that. So, and I want to make sure that the jury understands. So, in terms of the actual murder investigation itself, that was the jurisdiction of Las Vegas Metro.
Yes.
And so, which I guess is difficult here, right? Because potentially everyone that's a potential suspect in the Las Vegas murder potentially would have been residing in Compton, right?
Not necessarily, but most of them did.
Yeah. And so on this particular day, when you're out executing the search warrant with all the different locations, you had invited the detectives that were assigned to the Metro homicide investigation here to come out to Compton to be present so that they could interview people if they wanted to.
Correct.
All right. And so this particular piece of information would have been something that they would have been interested in, I would assume.
Yes.
All right. Now, we talked a little bit about what was also found, and you had indicated that there were some receipts, some hotel receipts.
Hey, bro said talk like you was talking in them Vlad interviews. Don't stop talking like that now. Own that shit, Keefe D. Own up to it, Keefe D. Don't be quiet now, Keefe. Raise your hand in the courtroom, Keefe, and say, yes, I chipped Tupac, and I accept what come with it. That's y'all feel? Keefe just should get up in the courtroom like, hey, fuck it, I killed that son of a bitch. Give me what I'm getting. I beat cancer. I beat the government. Now I'm gonna beat these motherfucking meat. Oh, fucking day.
That were located. I think the state had already presented this to the jury. What was the last exhibit you guys put up for that?
It's 161 and 162. It's just, that's the entire return for all locations.
Yeah.
The two are up there.
Sir, what you were showing earlier in terms of the affidavits in this case, fair to say that the size of the affidavits that were shown to you, and once again, this is for the state, are for the jury's edification.
12 more people.
State's Exhibit 161. This particular affidavit was actually a lot bigger, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, meaning, for instance, that you were targeting some 38 houses, which means that each house had its own paperwork attached to it, which would have made this document a lot bigger than what this document is right now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And then with regards to the document, we're targeting or focusing on the first item here. Looks like was let's see here. In State's
Hey,
Exhibit.
he's like, hey, Puff, hey, shoot that Zoom to the wounds, bro. Hey, and bro, don't be sending me them gay porns no more, bro. I said the regular shit, bro. You know me, bro. Southside crib.
Number 162, there was a reference here to a hotel receipt. Right?
Yes.
Now, the property report here that we're looking at on 162, which I will show. Wait,
Long live your channel.
this is the property report that we referred to earlier, right?
Yes.
And the hotel receipt that's on there is one of the items that was taken from this particular property, right?
Yes.
Do you have that receipt?
No.
Okay. So unlike for instance, the Suge Knight ticket indicating that there was a fight and so forth in Las Vegas, September 7th, 1996, this indicates that there was something taken, and that would have been that hotel's receipt, but you don't have it here.
Correct.
Do you have it? Do you know where its location is at all?
No.
Now, in addition to that, you also,
thank y'all,
in one of the other homes, had indicated that there was some There was a letter from the Excalibur Casino, and so forth. I'm going to show you this document here. This is State's Exhibit 163. And just for the jury's application.
Appreciate it.
So it looks like here on number 1, this would have been the receipt of property taken, correct?
Correct.
And underneath it here, number 1 would show a letter from Excalibur Casino addressed to Orlando Anderson, right?
Yes.
All right. Do you know the date of this particular document?
It would have had to be the same day of the search warrant.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the letter itself.
Oh, no.
Okay. And do you have a copy of that letter?
I do not know.
All right.
My
Do you know
shit
where that
thriving.
letter is?
I did over 1 million
All right,
views already this month already, and I started on the 10th. So from the 10th to the 26th, I did 890,000. See what I'm saying? They ain't even counting 24th, 25th. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, I'm about to do 1 million views. I ain't tripping. I'm doing great. Long live shit. My shit growing.
The next part here looks like there's an envelope addressed to, once again, Orlando Anderson. And with regards to this particular document, do you have any indication of where?
Say something. My bad. Let me say something. Look at that. Woo! 30,000 already. On game. Appreciate the love. We here doing it up, bro. We finna go crazy.
That document is.
No, it's booked into property. So.
Right. And that's the same thing with number 3
Shout
on
out to Chicago, man.
miscellaneous
Chicago in the building. Shout out to the Shy. Oh, Shy Rack in the building.
bills addressed to Orlando Anderson, right?
Yes.
None of these documents are addressed directly to Mr. Dwayne Davis, correct?
Yes.
And once again, when you are searching and finding something like, for instance, the Suge Knight ticket, that document is carefully taken from the scene and put into evidence in a way that would preserve the chain of custody of something like the ticket.
Correct.
Now, in this case, when you searched either the 2 residences in this case, did you find any indication at all? Any MGM grand ticket of being on the second row of the fight? Anything at all that would indicate that Mr. Davis was actually in Las Vegas?
Everybody, shout out y'all cities and states, man. Where y'all at, man? Let me know where y'all at, man. I'm gang, it's 20-some people here. Shout out y'all cities and states and like the video for your boy one time.
No.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, we had talked a little bit about the second search warrant. And the second search warrant is this one here, State's Exhibit 136.
County in the building, you already know.
Okay. Now, when a search warrant is executed in California, at the time it's executed, is it
Louisiana,
confidential?
You're 100% right, Louisiana.
Sometimes,
Jersey, I see you.
In this particular case, with this particular search warrant, was this search warrant sealed?
Yes.
And was it sealed up until the time that the search had been
Canada,
conducted?
shout out Canada, man. We shout out to the 6th, man.
Yes.
Canadian in the building.
Okay. When
The Canadians
did
in the
this
building.
particular
Yeah, shout out to the Canadians, brother. On gang of them.
search warrant become unsealed?
I don't recall.
Okay. Fair to say, though, that if someone's charged in a crime based upon search warrants that are sealed, that search warrant would then be available for the defense to look at.
Yes.
And it would be unsealed at that point.
Yes.
And that would be the same, of course, with the search warrant that occurred
at
the beginning of October the year before, right?
Correct.
So in this case, with this particular search warrant here, this is dated as of May 27th, 1997.
VA in the building. Africa.
On this particular one here, you had indicated the following. This is on page 4 of this document. The information that I think we're most interested in is line 4 of that document, right?
Yes.
Meaning that, once again, these are items that were taken from this home, and those items were put into your property or evidence log.
Correct.
And number 4 is a money due bill from the Monte Carlo casino. Right? Can you
I
tell
can't
us?
do that. My lungs ain't like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, put the super chat in the chat. We'll do it. Put the super chat in the chat out. Block. Let's go. Put the super chat in right now. I'm gonna blow my lungs out. Straight up. Fuck it, I'm gonna go to a that's you want. Florida videos, Florida Gators.
The date
Gators State.
of what this money due bill was for.
No.
All right, and once again, your search in this particular regard was actually May of 1997. Right? A few months after.
We got another 20 minutes of this right here, 10, 15 minutes of this, bro. Where we at? We got another 10, 15, we got 20 minutes of this. And then at 10:30 my time, we switch over to the Durk stuff for the next 30, 40 minutes. We're going to go Durk.
Quite a few months after the September 7th, 1996 shooting.
Chill out, my friend.
In addition to that, in terms of
St.
that
Louis in the
money
building.
due, can you tell us, for instance,
St.
who
Louis.
that money due bill was addressed to?
Play and rain all day.
No. Okay.
Don't hurt yourself. Compton. Shout out Compton.
Now, there were some questions by the state on that issue about the fact that this was actually a search warrant investigating into the murder of Biggie Smalls. Remember that line of questioning from the state? But fair to say, of course, that even then, as you're conducting this kind of investigation, you are still thinking about the Tupac case, right?
For sure.
Yeah, you weren't just at that particular point forgetting that the Tupac murder even occurred. You're still thinking during that time period, if you run across something you think is relevant, you would have identified it, right?
Correct.
And in addition to that, though, you would have identified it, you would have called Metro and say, hey, by the way, we got something there that will help you with the Tupac murder investigation. Fair?
Fair.
Okay. There's no reason why you wouldn't have done that?
Yeah.
Not that I know of, no.
Shit. Okay.
Now, we talked a little bit about the size of some of the people that were involved here, and I think, was it DeAndre Smith you said was a pretty big guy?
Yes.
All right. And you said he was like, what, 6'2", 6'3", and about 300 pounds, something like that? Big guy.
About 6'4", 300 pounds.
Okay. Did he play any sports or anything as far as you know?
I think he did. I'm not positive what sport.
Now, are you aware of an individual by the name of Terrence Brown?
Yes.
And was Terrence Brown one of the individuals that was potentially a suspect in the Tupac murder?
Yes.
All right. Now, with regards to Terrence Brown, can you describe for us how, like, his size as well?
Yeah. He's approximately a little shorter than you, and just medium built.
So a good-looking guy. I'm sorry?
I don't know about that, but
so it's a little bit shorter than me and about my size.
Right.
Okay. Let's just put it down as I'm 6'2", so that's like I'm just kidding, 5'8" and something else. And then in terms of the at the time with Terrence Brown, you are aware that Terrence Brown actually dies in 2015.
yes.
Right. And when he dies, do you know how he dies?
Yes.
How did he die?
He was at a marijuana dispensary in Compton, and a robbery occurred, and he got killed during the robbery.
So, based upon the way he was murdered in that case, no indication that that was some type of retaliation for the murder of Tupac in 1996 or 7?
No.
Okay. In addition to that, in 1996, I apologize. With regards to DeAndre Smith, do you know when he passed?
2004, and he died of medical complications.
Right. And as far as you know, nothing that would have been associated with any type of retribution or revenge for the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Correct.
Now, Orlando is the one who passes away relatively quickly after the shooting.
Yes, approximately a year and a half.
Right. And in terms of how he passes, he was shot and killed?
Yes, you want me to tell you what happened?
Please.
Orlando Anderson was with his best friend Michael DeRoe, and they were at a burger stand in Compton. And across the street from the burger stand, there was a car wash. Orlando Anderson recognized the people at the car. There was 3 people sitting in the car, and he recognized one of them that owed him money for some narcotics that he didn't pay him for. So Orlando Anderson took it upon himself, and he initiated the confrontation. He drove up to the car, and he exited with a gun. However, one of the persons in the other car, they had a gun too, so they had a shootout at the car wash. And then when the smoke cleared, Orlando Anderson was killed during the shootout, as well as 2 other people in the other car were killed.
And in terms of the 2 other people in the other vehicle, were they both Crips?
Yes.
So it wasn't a blood on Crip sort of shootout?
No.
It was just over money and drugs?
Yes.
Now, we've had some discussion here about Darnell Brim. And you're familiar with Darnell Brim?
Yes.
And the way I'm understanding this is that within the Southside Crips, you had 2 different factions.
Correct.
You had the Glen Cove faction with Darnell Brim.
Yes.
And then you had the Burr Street faction.
Correct.
Now, in terms of the 2 different factions that we have here, the Burr Street faction was a faction that was dealing with the drugs, mostly?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
In terms of the Burr Street faction, that they deal in drugs?
That was one of the things that they were involved in, yes.
Yeah. And in terms of the other faction, we talked a little bit about Darnell Brim. He was a shot caller.
Correct.
And he was a violent person.
He had the potential of being a violent person, yes.
Well, you recall in your book describing him as a very violent person?
Oh!
I don't recall that, but if it's in there, it's what I said.
Okay. And once again, it would have been something that if it wasn't true in your book, you would have corrected it.
Baby line, fuck you, girl.
Yeah, I'm not saying he wasn't a violent person.
Yeah.
He definitely has the potential to be a violent person.
And isn't it fair to say, though, like even in your book, that you describe him as being someone that was implicated in some attempt murders, that kind of thing as well?
Absolutely.
Darnell Brim.
Yes.
Now, Darnell Brim is shot in the back how many days after the shooting of Tupac Shakur?
2.
And with regards to the shooting in the back, do you know who shot him in the back?
No.
Okay.
We were told it was Pyrus, though.
Right. And would that fall more into the idea of what you're saying about retaliation in this case?
Yes.
Now, there are other people that potentially were considered, I think including the initial investigation here, as being part of the Tupac murder. Do you recall a person by the name of Noel Spank Johnson?
Yes.
All right. And he is also a Southside Crip member, part of the Glen Cove crew.
Correct.
All right. Do you recall a person by the name of Jerry Monk Bond?
Yes.
All right. Once again, part of the Glen Cove crew.
Correct.
And then also Orlando Anderson.
Correct.
Okay. So those individuals at some point were considered to be potentially involved in the murder of Tupac Shakur, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, when you had conducted the searches on Mr. Davis's home and the locations that we're at, did you ever find money?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
No vast sums of money for somebody making 20% of $4 million a month?
No.
How about expensive clothes, like stuff that was worth, suits worth $6,000, anything like that?
I don't recall the clothing that was inside.
Yeah. But in terms of, just information about the individual's living conditions, for instance, did you find any expensive cars that he owned or anything like that, besides the lowriders and stuff that people put a lot of work into?
Well, them are expensive cars to me, so
Yeah.
yes, we did.
And when you say lowriders, are we talking about lowriders here or BMWs?
Monte Carlos, hydraulics, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. And in terms of the Monte Carlos and the hydraulics, Mr. Davis was actually part of what they call a lowrider club in Compton?
No. I wasn't aware of that.
Okay. You're not aware of, let me ask this next question. But in terms of the vehicles we're talking about, they were not for, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, nothing like that. They were just modified cars.
Correct.
Now, in addition to that, does your, going back to your book, do you have anything in here, like a disclaimer that says that, hey, we can't verify the truthfulness of the book at all?
I'm not sure.
All right. If you were just to review the book real quick, just to tell me if there is anything like that, would that help your...
Oh, he better
I
not
wouldn't even
do
know where
that.
to look.
It should be in the front because it'll be...
He better not do that, bro. Saying this book ain't 100% true is crazy work.
Good warning. You want to check it out?
No, there's nothing in there to that effect then.
And would it be... Have you ever read a guy by the name of Greg Kading's book, Murder Rap?
Some of it, yes.
Can you tell us who Greg Kading was?
He was an LAPD sergeant.
Okay. Did you have any interactions with him?
No.
Did he share in any investigation that you were involved in?
No.
Did your partner have any work with him?
Yes.
And the work that we're talking about is in the task force that was assigned to investigate the murder of Biggie Smalls.
Correct.
And he was part of, Tim Brennan was part of that along with Mr. Kading.
Correct.
All right. Now, we had shared a little bit about the swallowing up of Compton PD by the LA Sheriff's Department.
It's over with after this.
You call it swallowing up. I call it absorbed or whatever.
Right. Why was that?
Well, it would take, I could tell you in a couple of minutes, but it's really a 6-month long thing that happened, but I can explain it to you if you want.
Well, I mean, obviously there's a lot of moving parts, right?
Yes.
The absorption or dismantling of a police department is a very unusual thing, right?
Yes.
And so in order for that to happen, if I can just cut right to the chase with you, was there corruption going on within the department that caused the absorption of the department back to the sheriff's department?
No.
Okay, then what was it that caused it?
It was the mayor, Omar Bradley, at the time, was being investigated by the FBI. He found out that he was being investigated by the FBI, and he blamed our chief. Right, so what he did is he put our chief and a captain off on administrative leave, and he made some allegations of missing narcotics. Okay. Now these guys were 2 30-year veterans with prestigious careers. Our department elected to do a vote of no confidence against the mayor. And this really pissed the mayor off. And he went to the city council and they voted to bring in the sheriffs. And they never asked the citizens if that's what they wanted. He just did that upon himself. Now, there was a long investigation regarding the stolen narcotics, and our 2 captain and chief were exonerated. There's a 60-page report on it, and it was resulted in 1 Hispanic narcotic officer was taking the narcotics, and he...
Then that's still you taking narcotics. It's still corruption inside the damn thing. It don't matter because, only one person that took the blame for it. Yeah, he took the fall for it. But y'all was stealing narcotics, putting on the drug dealers, and all the stuff.
Was dealt with. So the bottom line is we lost our police department, 112-year-old police department. Omar Bradley ends up getting arrested and convicted, so everybody lost here.
Yeah. And as a result of that, I think you told us earlier you didn't stay in the city of Compton anymore. You got reassigned to another city.
No, I stayed in the city of Compton for a year, and then I elected to go to another agency.
I see.
What's up,
All right. And then while you were there, the other thing that you did, and you shared with us a bit about the fact that you were very well versed in the gang culture in Compton, right?
Correct.
And in terms of the well-versed, meaning that you can identify and see patterns of behavior that would indicate to you maybe gang activity, for instance, right?
Yes.
And that would also include how a person dresses. We talked a little about that. I apologize. Like, for instance, even like the way a person dresses in blue, right? That would help you determine maybe potentially that that person's associated with a type of gang.
Yes.
Like in this case,
No.
no, all right. But with regards to the way it's set up, though, is that, did you at any point ever determine that Tupac Shakur was a member of a gang?
No.
Why not?
Because he wasn't.
And when you say that, I mean, obviously he's associated with the mob, or with the death row label.
Correct.
And he was also, at that particular point, hanging around with Suge Knight.
Correct.
And Suge Knight was an identified Mob Piru or an associate of the Mob Piru.
Correct.
As well as other people who were Mob Piru, like Mob James, for instance, that was in that association.
Yes. His entourage were all Mob Piru gang members.
Okay. But you're telling us right now that Tupac was not a gang member?
No.
Just because he was hanging around these people did not make him a gang member?
Correct.
Now, fair to say, of course, that even in the Death Row record label, there were actually Crips that were assigned, that were part of that label as well, right?
Yes.
That would have been Snoop Dogg?
Correct.
That would have been Dr. Dre?
Not sure about Dr. Dre. No.
How about, who's the other one that I'm thinking of? Is it Eazy?
He wasn't associated with that record label, I think. I don't think he was.
You tell me, because I'm just, I'm trying to figure it out. But fair to say, though, that within business, it wasn't about a color as much as it was about money, right? You're making money, and so you're not isolating one segment of the population from the other in terms of your product.
Correct.
Okay. Now, with regards to Mob James at that particular point, you had told us that you believed he was an OG at the time. Did Mob James have any indication for violence?
I never investigated him for any violence because he was in jail when I was, most of the time that I was in patrol and in the gang unit. And I don't know exactly when he got out, but when he got out,
that's my boy out there. That's my boy, man. It better be, man.
He was already older. He didn't really hang out with the younger gangsters.
I see. And with regard to this retaliation thing we talked about, you said there was some concern that once the shots were fired and Tupac was hit, that there was concern that there was going to be some type of gang war back in Compton, right?
Yes.
Now, you shared with us a little bit how this worked. You were asleep in bed, and you get a call early morning from Reggie Wright Sr.
I don't recall if I was asleep in bed, but I was at home.
Okay. And can you tell us what time that you received the call from Reggie Wright Sr.?
I don't recall. It was a long time ago.
Okay. But would it have been still that evening or that night?
Yes.
Not the next morning or anything like that? And the reason why he would have called you is because he was your direct boss?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, it's over with. Time for Durk, yo, bro. We tired of Keefe D. You know what I'm saying? Durk. First of all, Lil Durk talk going right now. Let's go. Go with bro.
Nobody wins when the family feels.
Steady crying, huh?
He's steady crying. Feel. Feed him.
Get him up, bro. Get him up so baby mama get the trigger, bro.
You see that?
Feed
For my
him.
baby. That's really how y'all hold y'all babies, ain't it? I gotta hold my money like this. This shit too much. Crazy though. Motherfucker be sitting up there doing all this. Sneak this and the internet games and all this. Up some money. Do something. Like, we winning, bro. I can do whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. Buy what I want, do what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro. Goof.
Bro got out what?
You know that
How many you did now?
How many years I did it now?
Yeah. That's your last bit. 12?
12.
That boy popped out 12 years.
Yeah.
So much money. We really was just getting that shit in order to just figure out the lanes, man, boy.
This shit feels so good, man. 2 lawyers, man.
I tell him about the building you got?
Everything.
Man, it's closed on the building, man. We ain't fucking around.
Say it ain't so. Fam, say it ain't so. Listen, first and foremost, to all the bloggers out there on foot in LA doing their reporting, gathering notes, and bringing it to their audience, I salute you. In fact, I salute you so much. You inspired me and the family TV so much that we're going to start going to these trials. And if not me personally, I'm going to start paying people to be out there on behalf of the family TV. But let's continue. Fam, this is an update to the Lil Durk murder for hire trial. Here's the thing. We talked about this 48 hours ago. We expected to follow up the next day, but that's because we thought OTF Jam, the person we all waiting to hear from, was going to testify that day. Well, it wasn't yesterday, but today's the day. And not only that, which we'll get to, but we also will later find out, allegedly, who co-conspirator 4 is. Now, we all thought it was Brick Baby, the rapper / co-host that be on No Jumper, but it turns out we might have been wrong from the jump. What if I told you the person who co-conspirator 4 is, he was already an informant for the YSL case. He was part of YSL, then Thug gave him the dirt. Remember Durk said, I told Thug he could have been on that YSL, Rico? Well, it turns out somebody who he signed on behalf of Thug might have been co-conspirator 4, in which he possibly already knew, based on dropping them from his label. Now, this person came back rapping after the first cooperation, so I'm not trying to ruin his career, but we're going to state the facts, and I'm going to let you put 2 and 2 together. On top of that, it seemed like Durk.
That'd be crazy, bro, if Young Thug gave that nigga gave him up knowing he had rat to Durk.
New Jam was telling all along. You know what they say? Keep your enemies close, right? That's what Durk was doing, according to the feds. Now, Trap Lil Ross came out and said that OTF Jam was expected to talk about multiple murders. Now, according to the feds, we got the exact number, 3. We'll later see exactly what murders he was allegedly involved in, according to his testimony. And on top of all that, we find out exactly when was the first time OTF Jam was talking to the feds. Then we got somebody who's giving out tweets and answers as they being told on the stand. So it's pretty live as we record this right now. So this video might sound a little shaky, but I want y'all to bear with me. Chop Lil Ross got bodyguards outside the courtroom. You know this is serious state.
You made a folly, a fugaboo, where you said that Lil Durk is blaming everything on Viney. To the person,
That's what
listen.
was said. That is what was said.
But
I can't do this right now,
but no,
brother. I
listen.
appreciate that.
I want you to clear
that.
that. No, I need you to clear that up. I need you to,
that's what
brother.
was said in court, bro.
But no, that's not what's said in court. That's the legal team. Viney took. Listen, why are you running, my guy? This is what I'm saying. Viney, listen. This all.
Just coming out of the courtroom, giving you guys the updates as soon as I possibly can. Yes, sometimes the prosecution is going to say things that aren't true. Sometimes the defense is going to say things that aren't true. Ryan Steele said several things that are absolutely false when he was doing cross-examination just now. He referred to Kim Von as K. Von Bennett numerous times. That's not his name. Is anyone going to call out Ryan Steele for getting that wrong? No, of course not, right?
But now, on a serious note, we're going to run down this update. We're going to see what Jam had to say. But we also going to get an update. LA Times got a reputable reporter who's been doing an outstanding job I've been listening to. I want to hear her update from day 2. From yesterday. And I'll let you guys hear what she had to say. And then we'll get caught up on what took place today. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it.
I realized I was probably overpaying for car insurance. Like every year, it just kept going up and up. And I never really questioned it. The insurance company count on that. Most people just count on whatever the renewal says without even checking if something cheaper is out there. Then I found this site called Smarter Auto. Took me.
We didn't hang though, but I just knew who you were. I was younger than him though.
And do you have a friendship or a relationship with him?
Not a strong bond, but we know each other.
And do you see him here today?
No, actually. Oh, yeah, I see him now.
And you identify him as well?
I can't see what he got on. He just got the dreads up.
Okay.
In the air.
And, all right. Is he towards the back of the room, the front of the room, or
To the
somewhere
back.
else? And how do you know?
They tell me. And that wrong with saying why I sell the game. I done played guilty to why I sell gang trial for. I've been down the road for why I sell gang trial for. They know we're a gang already. You feel me?
Yeah.
They what these older niggas saying, you feel me? Who done did this shit before. So they made me feel like, of course, okay, bet, shit, they know. You know what I'm saying? They know what's right. They know why I sell the game. These folks done play guilty to this type of shit before. These niggas done been down the road for it. These niggas done been down the road for it. Duke on probation for it. Yet done did time for it. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Why I sell this game? Ain't nothing wrong with that, you feel me? So that's when I go to my lawyer like, all right, bet. I admit that and say, well, I said it's a game. But my whole standpoint on it was, because other niggas still were fucked up. It's some shit I wouldn't ever took or said, you feel me? But my whole thing was like, okay, why I said it's a gang, it's not illegal to be a gang, is it, mister? I'm talking to my lawyer. No, it's not illegal to be in a gang, but it's a RICO if you're in a criminal street gang, you feel me? So I'm asking him, which questions on my deal admits to a criminal street gang. So it's one question on there to say, I have personal knowledge that YSL members commit these such crimes for the gang, you feel me?
And
like
the
that?
furtherance of the gang.
Right, okay. And if you go look and pull up my thing or whatever, the deal shit, mine's never say I have personal knowledge that anybody commit any type of crime, because I never been a part of no crime. I never seen no crime. I never knew anybody that did anything crime. That's what I'm standing on.
Now, fam, that was Slime Life Shorty. And there's even two questions he gotta answer. Did you tell the feds that you text Duty Low, Quando Rondo address? Or did you let Lil Durk know that the feds got your phone, which might contain explicit text messages indicating that you giving out the drop on the Savannah, Georgia rapper connected to NBA YoungBoy, Quando Rondo? Co-conspirator 4 could be one other person as well, but we'll later get to that. And we'll later see how it could allegedly be Slime Life Shorty as well. And we know the feds had his phone. But in 60 seconds, for those who don't know Slime Life Shorty, he's from the same neighborhood as Young Thug, Cleveland Avenue. And growing up around YSL, he naturally became heavily affiliated with the camp and repped the slime culture in his music. Looking back, Thug made a new why. Despite his deep ties to Young Thug and YSL, Slime Life Shorty never officially signed to YSL Records due to the prior paperwork entanglements. Instead, his emotional street melodies caught the attention of Chicago superstar Lil Durk. Young Thug co-signed, and the rest was history, alongside Alamo Records. But after the 2022 RICO, Lil Durk just never contacted Slime Life Shorty again. Though even though some would consider that 2-year span of him being signed to Lil Durk, he jumped click to click. But I had to give people at least that rundown so they can understand the context of the text messages that was presented in court today. Now, the day that King Von had died, a text message was sent from Slime Life Shorty to Duty Low. It was November 6, 2020. Slime Life Shorty said, "Keep your head up, Slime. I know the pain. I'm with you 4L, drilling about this Duty Low, I love you, Slime. SLS, I love you back, Slat. It's up about this on 11/7/2020. Slime Life Shorty, where you at, Slime? Low, crib, call me. SLS, Blake sends Quando Rondo's phone number. 11-9, Low, gang. SLS, I know a nigga who from Savannah who got drops. That's him? Want his number? Low, yeah. SLS, send phone number. Now, the only way the feds got this message was either through Slime Life Shorty phone or Duty Low. And that's who co-conspirator 4 is.
As fuck. Cause just knowing him, like he like smart as hell.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like even when it comes to street stuff, he don't be sloppy. He don't be, you know what I'm saying? So that was surprising. Not saying that it's true. But
Yeah,
I'm just
no, I
saying
got
the
you.
fact that he even in it is surprising. Cause it was like he know better. You know what I'm saying? Cause I done heard him talk like, you know what I'm saying? I know
Hell
him.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's surprising, but I don't think it's even. I think he gonna get out of for real.
Praying for him and his family.
I think it's like that how they make. You know how they gonna always paint the narrative.
Of course.
Now next is OTF Jam, but first, shout out to Michael Blackshy, the journalist who's been keeping us updated within the court buildings via X. They said that Casey, Hester, OTF Jam first spoke to investigators in May of 2023 at Statesville Correctional Center. FBI agent John Fimbley confirmed in court. FBI agent used Cellbrite to retrieve text messages shown in court of Lil Durk going back to 2020. Prosecutors also showed a group text message in 2023 that included Lil Durk, OTF D, and OTF Booney Mo, who all knew at the time OTF Jam was telling. It was also noted that Lil Durk changed his number 17 times in 2020 up until now. In court, still, Lil Durk's attorney quoted, "A rat, a snitch, can give you false information, ? FBI agent John Fimbley, it depends on the person, still, and you know you have to be careful with people like that. And when I say that, I mean Mr. Hester, Mr. Jones, Mr. Grant." A group text message from 2023 discussing OTF Jam, Lil Durk quoted, "He gonna tell soon. OTF DD, he think he could break us down. Loyal, feds be going to talk to everybody. Lil Durk, as long as we don't break, they can tell him whatever." That was last for the detective. Next was OTF Jam. He got on the stand and testified. The first question, did you participate in the shooting on August 19, 2022, leading to the death? Surveyor Robinson, OTF Jam, yes. Prosecutors, did others in the room participate as well? OTF Jam, yes. Prosecutors, can you name them? Hester, Durk, Dee, and Lindsay. It was also alleged that OTF Jam discussed how he knew King Von when he was younger because of his sister. Prosecutors asked, were you trying to talk to his sister at the time? OTF Jam, yes, while smiling. Prosecutors, did Lil Durk keep up with you while you was in prison? OTF Jam, I ain't gonna lie. When Lil Durk changed his number, he made sure my mom got it. Prosecutor, did you talk to Mr. Banks after you got out of prison? OTF Jam, yeah. I told Durk I just got out of prison and I don't got no clothes. He told me, yes you do. You got us. The song Back Again played in court and prosecutors honed in on the lyrics. Jam get out that jam, I gave him 50. Ain't gotta ask again. He was catching murders way back then when the Max was in. OTF Jam quoted, I heard them playing the song in prison and saying my name. But then how can we take this man serious, fam? He randomly put Chief Keefe in it. OTF Jam, Durk, Keefe, Rondo number 9. Prosecutors, you name my other gang members? OTF Jam, yes. Keefe free. Rondo already doing 100 years. Why bring them up? It was alleged when OTF Jam started breaking down his experience with the Black Disciples and his experience with Lil Durk, he started shaking his head often while he was on the stand. Prosecutors, do you have any gang tattoos? OTF Jam, yes. Prosecutors, what gang tattoos do you have? Jam, BDN, Lamb 300, OTF 300. The first 30 minutes of OTF Jam's testimony focused on being a Black disciple, saying the rules of a BD, sacrifice life for the nation cause, abide by the leader's orders, be in the salute. Prosecutors asked, were you involved with robberies? Jam, armed robberies with the gun. Prosecutors, around how many times? Jam, probably 100 plus. Prosecutors, who were you robbing? OTF Jam, drug dealers. Prosecutors in 2010, did you participate in a robbery? OTF Jam, I was told to kill him because he was a witness. Pulled the gun to his head and pulled the trigger. He spoke on how that situation landed him 12 years in prison. The YouTube thumbnail for the music video for The Block Is Hot was shown in court. Prosecutors, what are they doing in this image? OTF Jam, dropping the Y.
Before Jam's testimony, you can 100% say Durk Nash is going to walk out of there. 100%. But everybody that's going to come out and say something, I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to say it's bad because obviously he's testifying. So you want the recross. You want after Brian Steele and everybody do their thing so that they can basically destroy whatever the hell he said. But right now, I ain't gonna lie, damn nigga looking like a fucking monster. Nigga's flat out. Dash nigga, but a nigga monster. That shit, man, that shit hurt my heart seeing that shit. Cause nigga, you was poor as Dirk put money on you, nigga, all of this. You supposed to take a bullet. You ain't supposed to take the stand, nigga. The fuck is you talking about? But then it makes sense how dirty he was because y'all came from Chicago with the same shoes, same drawers, same socks, completed the blitz, then the next day y'all left. So you done wore the same clothes for 3 days, ain't sold no drugs? Just came out here to shoot dirty? But, yeah, man, everybody gonna say it's all badish, 100%. Everybody gonna come out and say because of what he said, because I think the feds, I can't prove it tonight. The feds already want to.
It's a lot to take in on day 3, fam. OTF Jam is expected to get back on the stand, be cross-examined the next day on day 4. But you got him throwing Rondo number 9, Chief Keefe, who ain't got nothing to do with this case, just to confirm on paper to the feds they gang members for any future crimes, which is crazy. Then you got the possibility of co-conspirator for being either nonetheless a person that was once signed to his label, whether it was Duty Low allegedly or Slime Life Shorty. Then it gets to the point where it seemed Durk had knew all this was taking place before it went down. His distance from Slime Life Shorty, his distance from OTF Jam, trying to keep his enemies close. Can't say as of now his defense is losing, but I leave that to you guys. It's more developed. I'll keep you guys updated on day 4. Let me know your thoughts in this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one. But then it could be Duty Low, because like we said, it's either him or Slime Life Shorty.
Oh my gosh, what an insane day at the Durk trial. It was absolutely wild. It didn't play out any of the ways that people were expecting, but it was absolutely insane. I've written so many notes today. I've actually on 2 notebooks. I had 2 notebooks akimbo in the courtroom today. It was absolutely mental. I'm not going to lie to you. Absolute insanity. I'm going to try my best to just give you all the info. You guys seem to like the kind of full breakdown that I did yesterday. I'm honestly, I'm speechless. There was so much going on. There was ups and downs for Durk's team, for the prosecution, for the state. It was ups and downs for me. They was saying I was getting pressed outside the courthouse. I thought I was doing the pressing a couple of times. I ain't going to lie to you. There was so much going on. It was just insanity, okay? So I'm going to find my page and I'm going to let you know absolutely everything that went down in day 4, okay? So it all started off basically, all right, with like a little bit of back and forth between the judge and Brian Steele. They basically just made it very clear. Brian Steele was kind of saying, look, once a witness takes the stand, we got to make sure that, you know, there's not kind of weird stuff going on behind the scenes. We got to make sure that parties, you know, are being proper about everything that goes on, that, you know, there's not any kind of meddling with the witnesses. The judge basically said no witness can be in the court and be informed of what another witness has said. So what they're basically saying is they can't have Vonnie and
my boy Deuce. Now, you know, that's 100% right, man. It was crazy how that man did him. You're 100% right. He said that nasty work, bro. Nigga didn't have a pair of drawers. Durk blessed him. Oh, hey, I'm taking a bullet. Hey, okay. Fuck it. We go. Nigga, make sure the kid's right. I don't crip. I get it. I did that. Took that
in the court and then let Jam know what Vonnie said or vice versa, and then he going to tighten up and correct their stories or any of that stuff. It's supposed to be completely separate, and they said if a witness leaves the stand, they shouldn't be learning what other witnesses had said. And they said, you know, if they do leave the stand and learn what another witness has said, they shouldn't be able to return to the witness stand. They said that the defense can ask if a witness had met with prosecutors. They could request to speak to a state witness in lunch break if they, you know, want to try that. He said it's likely to be denied, but you can ask.
Nothing, right? The fact is that you had nothing, and somebody changed your life.
So, but what you can't do is circumvent witnesses being in court, and basically the judge kind of basically was pushing back a couple of witnesses. Now, it wasn't said, but I think there was controversy about OTF Jam. There was all these rumors and reports, and it was said by the state themselves yesterday that OTF Jam would be giving testimony today. That didn't end up happening at all. Okay. Now, what was interesting, okay, is as time kind of went on, we got back to the testimony. That lead detective was back on the stand and he was given some very interesting details. So the last day, day 3, had ended with basically this kind of whole breakdown of the surveillance footage inside the gas station where Quando and Rondo and Lil Pab got shot at. They were inside the gas station buying snacks. We ended up seeing the shooting as it happened right after, and it ended on a dramatic note on day 3. But then we got to day 4 and we continued from there. And the detective dropped a bombshell. They said that he got phone records for nearly pretty much everyone involved in the shooting. They said it all started with OTF Jam's IG messages. He gave out his phone number in a DM. They got the cell phone number. They subpoenaed the cell site data and cell phone records for the phone. That led them to other people. Then they got Lindsay's number and they got records. They basically got records and cell site info for everybody. One by one, they picked them off. Then they got Vonnie's info. Then they got Dee Dee's info. Then they got Jones's info. They got everyone's, and then they got Asa Houston's info. All starting with Jam was the first domino that knocked everyone off. Now, excuse the pun. We looked at a bunch of footage, basically from the Level Hotel, the Bathing Ape store, the Litco dispensary. Basically, we learned that the escape path for the Escalade. So when Quando, Rondo, and Lil Pab got shot at and they fled the gas station, they actually drove right past where OTF Vonnie was staying, about 2 blocks away. It looked like 2 blocks north, and Vonnie likely saw Quando's car speeding by, right? They showed Google Street View, and they said that, you know, the car was basically up there 2 blocks away, and Quando ended up speeding off that way. The Infiniti, on the other hand, that did the drill, it ended up taking off in the alley, and it kind of, you know, when there's an alley sort of in between blocks in America, there's sort of like other alleys. It kind of reminds me of like GTA Vice City or like Miami. If you're near Miami Beach, South Beach, you've got these little alleyways that go behind the blocks. They basically drove from an alley to another alley to another alley, kind of sideways off, while Quando and them darted north, and they would have driven past Vonnie. All right. Did I say Vonnie? I meant Quando. Quando and them drove off north. Anyway, all right, that wasn't the most important thing. What was really interesting is we saw 4 angles, 2 angles of the shooting, 2 angles of the alleyway. They played all the footage again, straight 4K, back to back to back, side to side, all panels. We saw absolutely everything. It was insane. They showed a random one. They showed Dee Dee had phone messages with some kind of IG baddie by the name of Black China Doll. I'm assuming that's not the real Black China, some kind of knockoff Temu Black China that he was messing with. But anyway, she had said, Dee Dee, what you doing? He said, I'm on my way to LA. She said, what's going on with LA? Dee Dee said, shit, the guys. She said, well, why didn't you take me? He said, I didn't know I was going until 2 hours before the flight. So he doing a little pillow talk, and it's kind of making him look bad, to be honest with you guys. Giving little details like that. So then we got to the In-N-Out burger restaurant footage, which is where all the shooters went right after the shooting. And this was crazy. So we did learn kind of a few interesting things. You know, pretty much
Harry Potter.
As they're arriving to the In-N-Out, a guy that works for Lil Durk is booking all the flights for everybody to go back to Chicago. So it's like they've done the drill. The drill's been successful. Within an hour, they're booking all their flights home. Literally less than an hour, and all their flights home are booked as they're arriving to In-N-Out. Pretty incriminating, okay? And there was excruciating back and forth today going over all of the flight records. Look, we already established, bro, them flights was booked on Durk's Amex. Someone that works for him had an authorization to use the Amex. Vonnie was look, Durk's account, all the killers are on there. We've been known that. They showed it over and over and over again today, but it's like the point had kind of been made. We get it, okay? But they're basically saying that this guy that worked for Durk, I'm not going to say his last name just for the sake of it, but his name is Jason, all right? Works for Durk, booked the flights. Durk told him, don't book no flights, no names connected to me. Dummy Jason went ahead and booked the flights and their names connected to Durk. So anyway, all right, they all go into In-N-Out, and this was embarrassing. All of the shooters and Dee Dee, they're all in In-N-Out, and they're all looking at their phones damn near the whole time. We saw excruciating long footage of them all on their phones. Jam's on the phone talking, all right? Everybody's looking at phones. Dee Dee puts his arm around Jam at one point and shows him something on his phone, okay? They said that the media reported the shooting immediately after it happened. They didn't say specifically what they were looking at, but it was inferred, it was likely that they were looking at the news reporting of the hit. They were probably looking at that TMZ footage of Quando screaming no. They saw Jam at the soda fountain for an extended period of time. I mean, Jam, a bigger guy, right? I know he definitely not getting that Diet Coke. But anyway, all right, Lindsay and Dee Dee, they were looking over animated. They kind of laughing, joking, nudging each other, all right? They all talking. But what's funny is while they're talking, they're all looking around. They look shifty. I'm not going to lie to you. They look like a bunch of guys that just did a murder, okay? And I'm not saying that because of their appearances. I'm saying it because of their demeanors. They was looking over they looking at their phones, looking over their shot, looking out the window, looking at who's coming. Bro, they looking like someone about to come and lock them all up. So Keith Jones joined them. All right. They were all kind of having conversations, constantly looking over their shoulders out the window. Lindsay hands a phone to Dee Dee to look at something on his phone. They all start looking at their phones. It starts off no one's on phone. Slowly, they're all on phone. Slowly, there's something's going on, and they're all looking over their shoulders, looking at their phones, like probably looking at Quando screaming no. While this was going on, Durk just looked down. He stared at the screen. He honestly looked pissed that he was even in this situation. He's probably thinking, what the hell have I done hiring you lot as my hitman? This was a big mistake. Durk was just looking emotionless, kind of just staring down the whole time, just like... I was looking at Durk quite closely. So Jam looking at his phone. Jam takes a phone call. Jam's on his phone for quite an extended period of time, and it's almost like other people kind of looking at him like, bro, what are you doing on the phone? But then you all playing with your phones. Now, Durk looked quite uncomfortable, to be honest. He kind of shifted in his seat. He looked quite shifty. He looked a little bit like uncomfortable, okay? So what was really interesting is while this was all going on, okay, they're all looking at their phones. This is going on for a long time. Jam shows something on his phone to Dee Dee, and I would say that Durk's lawyers looked uncomfortable. There was a lot of moments where Durk's lawyers looked uncomfortable. Don't get it twisted. They had some W's. There's some moments where they were absolutely on point killing shit. But at this point, they looked uncomfortable and frustrated. Now, Durk was basically just looking down, and we're seeing all this stuff. Jam showing his phone to Dee Dee. Dee Dee staring at Jam while he's on his phone talking. Jam walks away, then he walks back. Durk's like scratching his head while this is going on in the courtroom. Dee Dee honestly looked kind of pissed off in some of the footage. Jam shows his phone to Jones. Jones is on the phone as well, and then after all of that, they get whatever they get from In and Out, and they go back to the Escalade. Now at this point, Durk looked defeated. I see Durk doing this.
Why he always trying to why is he talking like Durk at the scene? At this point, Durk he talking like Durk at the scene.
He looked pissed. He looked like he'd maybe realized he'd hired the wrong hitman for this job. Brian still looked very frustrated. This went on for a really long time. And then they brought Durk's Amex records up once again and showed all the names of these people that were in the In and Out with the same shoes from the hit on his Amex records with the flights. Durk grimaced. Durk kind of went... It kind of went like that, all right? Because it was bad. This was one of the moments where we swinging more towards Durk's cooked, all right? But it turned around the other way for a little bit. But right now, it was the oven was getting preheated. So they showed the return flights. They said that the BMW left the In and Out, and this was interesting. They said that they said that I thought that they'd said previously that Vonnie had driven the car back to Durk's house. That's not what was said. He actually went back to Durk's house. He went right back to Durk's house afterwards, but he didn't take the car. He parked his car off on Hollywood in a random street, and you know what he did? Booked an Uber straight away on his account, straight back to Durk's house right after the hit. Genius move, Vonnie. Really, really good stuff. So in addition to that, okay, so the Uber record showed that he was dropped off at Durk's house right after. All of the people that were at the In and Out restaurant were then basically right after. They went straight to the San Diego airport. They were at In and Out at 6:09. They were at the San Diego airport at TSA by 9:30 p.m. All right, just straight to it. No time for any extracurricular activities. Murder, In and Out, check your phone, go to San Diego airport. Ticket booked on the OTF card. All right, crazy. So they said that there was immediate reporting on the shooting by TMZ. It captured the Escalade after the shooting, and this was viral at the time. They showed the TMZ footage of Quando screaming no, and Durk was looking stressed. To be honest with you, I felt Durk was looking stressed. At some point, he kind of put his head in his hand and rubbed his head. He was looking a little bit defeated at that point, okay? So they played the TMZ clip. Durk kind of fidgeted in his chair while Quando's on the screen screaming no. He was probably thinking... laugh now, cry later. Probably he was thinking, man, I was laughing then and now I'm crying. Okay, that's probably what he was thinking. It's just the truth. Sorry everybody that doesn't like the truth. So they basically said that TMZ reported, and they actually sent a reporter to the scene immediately. Now Dee Dee had messages where he sent this viral clip to other OTF members. Now look, this was one of the dumbest things that happened in the trial that I'm going to tell you about in a minute, and Brian Steele, Andrew Findling looked fucking furious because Dee Dee's lawyer made an absolute mess. He made an absolute giant mess and put his foot in it. And this was just embarrassing, honestly. Dee Dee's lawyer, anytime, I'm not going to lie to you, anytime Dee Dee or Lindsay's lawyers speak, Brian Steele and Drew Findling look like, bro, you guys are fucking blowing it for us. I don't know what sort of budget lawyers, all right, Durk has got for his co-defendants. Clearly he spent all the budget on his own lawyers, but like when the other lawyers speak, it's a mess. And you can tell Durk's lawyers are not feeling it. So basically, right, and they said this. I want to make this very clear, and this is just how bad Dee Dee's lawyer is doing at the moment. They basically said, all right, Dee Dee had basically sent this viral clip to a bunch of OTF members in a group chat. He sent a clip. They made it clear it wasn't his message, but the message had a caption, and it was unclear who wrote the caption at the time, but then we litigated it, all right? We heard what it was all about. It said, at Quando Rondo, where your pipe was at, gang, laughing emoji 3 times, smoke emoji 5 times, demon emoji, I believe there was like a hurricane spinning emoji, and then the word risky with a bunch of Y's. This was sent to a group chat that had TTE Wicked Man, who replied, TTE being threats to everybody, it's another crew that's associated with Durk. Oopsie, you're not allowed to talk about gangs. Showed that with laughing emojis, right? So TTE Wicked Man responded with laughing emojis. It was sent to Breezo. It was sent to Lil Varney from OTF. Dee Dee added his own comment after he shared this post saying he playing crazy. Varney said, yeah, acting bad. And Durk scratched his head and just stared down while all of this was going on. Boona, right, his Instagram account was at Boona D-Thang Brother. He said, on bro, with a mind-blown emoji. And Durk just looked down while this was going on. And then basically Booney Mo was brought up. They showed a picture of Booney Mo with Jam and Durk and Dee Dee all together. They're in the group chat. It was pretty bad. It was more just like, bro, this is looking bad. The judge basically, we took a little break. And during the break, Durk kind of had to switch up his demeanor, just like he kind of, I ain't gonna lie, he'd be putting on a fake smile when he wants to try to kind of like look good. You know, we saw the hearings, like whenever he was brought in, he was like just smiling, laughing with his lawyers, trying to put on a good face. But it was like he's seeing all of this evidence and he was looking shook, he was looking upset, he was looking like stressed out. And then when they had the break and they let him stand up, he was kind of like switched on. He was like, yeah, like smiling, joking with his lady lawyer. It just seemed fake, to be honest. It just seemed really fake to me. The way he switched it on just seemed fake.
This nigga a hater, bro. You can tell this nigga hate like a motherfucker. Everything it seemed like to him, always to him. It seemed like to me. It seemed like to me. When a lot of journalists say that, that means it's not real journalism. It seemed fake. It seemed. Straight up. It seemed fake. Hold on, let's see. Let's start on. Where the lawyer at? One second. You should like where before.
Afternoon. We're on break, the mid-afternoon break. Now, I'm not quite sure if I walked into the wrong courtroom. I'm pretty sure I've been covering a murder for hire trial, but this afternoon we were talking about street gangs and a conspiracy to engage in gang activity case. I'm not quite sure. We got a full-fledged education on the Chicago gang scene, the official rights of passage, hierarchy, and everything else of the gang known as the Black Disciples. Look, I say that in jest, but the prosecution opened up Pandora's box. OTF Jam has taken the stand. They have questioned him extensively, having him relay his entire history with this street gang, his involvement, the murders he's committed. We will get into the OTF Jam testimony in depth. It requires truly reporting. It requires reporting. It's not require headlines. All right, what just happened at the Lil Durk trial deserves the headline. Oh my God, that was crazy. They have shut down the overflow courtroom. I saw one man apprehended by the federal court officers. There was the FBI agent questioning him also. The picture has been taken. I'm not going to post it because I don't want to get banned from reporting on this case, but there was a picture that was taken of Jam on the stand from the overflow room. So there's the main room, the courtroom, and if you can't get in because it's too full, there's an overflow room where you can go to. Don't worry, I got a note taker in a way of getting everything that was said. So the overflow room, picture taken Feds came in, correctional officers came in. It was kind of interesting. They were very aggressive when they came in. The guy had his feet up on the thing, and I think the guy meant to say, hey, put your feet down, you're going to take you out. Instead, he said, put your feet down, I'm going to knock you out. It was intense. And we don't know who took the picture. There is some reports. There were a couple people in the back who kind of came in looking out. You know, I'll save the details for maybe somebody else to tell you. But anyway, some people came in the back, and they might not have turned their phone in. The security, for it must be said, is very lax. If you don't want people taking pictures when the cooperator is there, you don't have any guards, or maybe one guard, and he goes on break sometimes looking at what's happening in the room. It would have been very easy, court, to put 2 guards in there at the front, sitting, looking back at the people watching in the overflow room, and you wouldn't have to worry about pictures getting taken. Also, it would have been very easy to have a bigger courtroom and everybody be in that courtroom. And also, it would have been very easy to ensure that nobody got a phone in by having screening outside the door. This is a matter of the court's convenience weighed against the public interest. There is unprecedented public interest. You have to make room for the public, and they have not done that through and through this trial. And now we have this issue where the public is being outright limited in their access due to issues that the court ought to have addressed, in my fair and honest opinion. All right, what just happened at the Lil Durk trial deserves the head. Yo, let's pay some bills in this mother, because nobody pays me to cover these court cases, right? Listen, if you have been walking in downtown Los Angeles and nearly passed out from exhaustion walking uphill. So there's some fair points here raised by Ross, and he does say, bet everyone won't repost, so I want to make sure I repost. So he's saying, look, Brian Steele told multiple lies during cross. He claimed Quando anointed Little Tim as King Tim. That's false. He claimed that Lil Tim murdered King Von. That's false, because the murder charges were dropped in self-defense. Now, Brian Steele should know better than to say this, but Ross should know a couple very obvious points. One, Steele might have done this to set the agent up. It is, after all, the agent who is trying to lock up one of the citizens of the country for life based on a narrative of a revenge killing. And so if you don't correct Brian Steele, it's on the agent, not the defense attorney. But more importantly, the definition of a lie. A lie is a false statement made on purpose to trick or mislead someone. You don't know that Brian Steele knew and on purpose said the lie that Quando anointed Little Tim as King Tim. Brian Steele could very well have thought that. And ultimately, he's the defense attorney, and it is not his job to prove the prosecution's case. It is, in fact, the prosecution's job to know their case, have the facts straight, and if a defense attorney says something that they knew or don't know or setting you up to fall into a trap, if the defense attorney says something, it's on you to know the act.
11 o'clock, we got to get up out of here. My kids got school and all that. My daughter got school, so I got to turn it down. 11 o'clock is my cutoff time. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Mañana. See y'all tomorrow. My cutoff time is there. Straight up. Straight up. See y'all tomorrow.